Episode 1. Alrighty, so welcome to the very first randInt podcast. Yay, we finally got it working.
Is it rolling?
Oh yeah, it's been recording the whole time.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd do a little intro of this is the script. So
A script seems like it.
yeah, so I kind of was like, hey, we should have it. Oh yeah, by the way, that's a little look for that on the. Well, I mean, if you've already listened to it, you've already seen that because that would be a bit back to front otherwise.
Yeah, I guess if on the YouTube channel, then you can see. Otherwise, if you're
That's the
listening
rolling
to
the
it,
intro.
that would become really confusing. What we're pointing at.
Oh, it's pointing at the TV that's got like the logo. Hey, it's like our in between episode already starting. What was I gonna say? So yeah, why don't you go first? Who are you?
I am me, and I am here.
Okay, great. So for those people that don't know,
So, for people that don't know me, I am sitting here in this apartment enjoying
yeah,
my
go with your name, man.
That's a good idea. So I'm Chandra, just finishing my ophthalmology training and doing a bunch of other stuff. Mostly unemployed this year. And enjoying unemployed life.
Have you done anything ophthalmological this year?
Define ophthalmological.
Clinically opthal related.
I thought about clinical things. Yes.
So how are you finishing your training? Not doing any of that.
By doing research. So clinical ophthalmology research is, currently my year. So it's a little bit different to the last 15 years, except for random years off here and there. So yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah, but isn't it a bit of an interesting story how you're here and not somewhere else?
Well, I could be in the US, and that's where I started off in February. But this whole pandemic thing kind of came around, and I thought I'd just weather it out, but some smart people were like, maybe come home for a bit. So I said, all right, I'll come home for a few weeks just to, wait it out till this pandemic thing sorts itself out. Hopefully be back by, March last year. So that was wrong. Turns out, crashing on the couch with very good friend turned out to head up. Slightly longer crashing on the couch than expected.
And apart from your clinical hat, what else do you do?
I currently have too many hats, and I'm currently working on reducing hats.
Yeah, but quickly describe your other hats.
Well, I'd say my other big category of hats is startup land. So I managed to take a year off during training to start a startup, and we were first in the patient engagement space, and that's where that startup's still running, but we're also experimenting with other things there. And my first sort of foray into the whole startup world was starting a medical journal, because why not? And had to work out what's the cheapest, most efficient way to set that up and have that running. And then I came across all the startup stuff. And now here we are.
Fair enough.
So I believe that would have been Tim Ferriss times for our work week, where it all begins.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I'm
What
Rafi.
about you?
So I'm Rafi, and I'm munching on delicious Japanese-ish food. I'm an anaesthetist. I actually finished training, which, had I listened to this guy, I would never have done. Which I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. So clinically, I worked as an anaesthetist both in public and private, and my other hats are in the department. I'm the IT guy because, brown dude, doing IT things.
Indian tech support, man.
Well, yes, Mumbai tech support. Other things that I do are start a podcast. This started off with just the whole lockdown, getting all these ideas, and other friends are doing media things like Lahiro, who's got the YouTube channel and the podcast. And so other hats are photography, run Photos by Rafi, which has a website and social media and all that stuff, and YouTube. This a newsletter, Sunday Surprise, or whatever we're going to call it. It's gone through about 10 different names in the last few weeks.
And Jigsaw Mobile.
Oh yeah, so part of the photos by Rafi thing did a jigsaw. I had it just out. It's currently over there, just outside visual range at the moment. And there, I look after 2 cats who are around here somewhere, and that's me.
The cats are not for sale, but the jigsaws are. So if you're bored in lockdown.
No one's in lockdown though, so it should be listening to us.
Depends, Australia.
Yeah, true.
Australia's pretty good.
Yeah.
Just got some people from the UK who are not enjoying life right now.
Alrighty. So I was going to also go with one random thing about yourself.
Random thing about myself.
Let's change it up. I'll tell you a random thing. You do mine. So this guy is cooking. That's where we're going. His daily meal consists of a random mushing of sardines, brown rice, topped with a banana. No one knows why. It looks disgusting, but he swears by it. So that's what he eats almost every single lunchtime.
It's delicious, nutritious, prevents scurvy.
And it looks like worse than what my cats eat.
No, the cats are not fortunate enough to eat this.
So why do you eat this? Like, explain.
It's nutritionally dense and it's easy to make. That's also important. Though lately it's becoming harder and harder to make as you start getting fancier and fancier and fancier. So I've now stripped back to the simple elements. But yes, convenience, nutritiousness.
So he's just lazy. It doesn't require any actual thing other than microwave.
I could eat it every day. And mostly do.
Yeah.
Variety is not the slice of my life. But I feel that it's a good way to cook. So that's my recommendation to everybody. Try it. Sardines, rice, whatever else you can find. And a banana.
Don't do it. It just looks
A
disgusting.
banana as well. It's healthy.
I suppose now you got to pick one random thing for me.
That's tough. So much randomness. In general, if you want to think of somebody who's like completely about random ass stuff, this is the person.
Yeah, but
For example, let's see. There's a photo on the wall I'm looking at right now of Antarctica, which we went on a trip to. How did that happen? Somebody called up one weekend and was like, hey, you want to go to Antarctica in 2 months? Because that's right, as a fellow fob, the tickets were on discount. So, a lot of random trips. Not the first random trip. Another time, need to do a course. Could do it here in Melbourne. But no, turns out, cheaper to fly to the US, do the course and come back. Hello, what are you doing next weekend? Which is how many rant problems start. Such as randInt podcasts.
We're getting to that. I would like to say that trip, it was 4 days of flying, 2 days there, 2 days back, and 3 days of actually being in Chicago.
This is true. So, some random ideas work out. No, I thought that random idea worked out.
Alright, going with the random theme, one random question, which I'm going to include in every single podcast. Do you actually brush your teeth for 2 minutes?
No, that's a lot of time. If you calculate that out over your lifetime, like, that's a lot of time.
But you're meant to. I have
4
what my
minutes.
electric toothbrush does.
No, but if you have an electric toothbrush, then you just don't need to do 2 minutes.
No, you got a timer for 2 minutes. You're meant to do it for 2 minutes, regardless.
Really?
Yeah,
Surely.
it buzzes at 2 minutes.
Mine does that too. But, you know, that's like, it's done it once. It's not used to doing that.
Alright, well that's about us. Going on to more random things.
But you should have a look on Kickstarter for the new electric toothbrush that's
Oh, the
been ordered.
Puma brush, yeah.
Yeah. You should put a link to it down below. That's what all the cool YouTube people do. Definitely not an affiliate thing.
I see we're going with marketing heavy.
Hey man, gotta buy that randInt.com domain name.
Alright. So, why randInt? Why we choose that as a name?
Well, neither of us done much programming before, and when I first came here and quarantining, bought a laptop, well, I had my laptop, bought a screen, and checked into an apartment to quarantine for 2 weeks. I'm back from the US and really got into the whole programming thing. Started making an app, And then when I came to Rafi's place, as I assumed all anaesthetists are lazy, and he was mostly just sitting around doing nothing, so I got him to start programming too. We discovered that in programming, most problems can be solved by a random int number generator.
Well, most things in life, really.
Yeah, and then we discovered it applies to most things in life. Why do things happen? randInt.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, you can come up with explanations, but it's equally fun just to, it's kind of like, you know, you watch the robot vacuum cleaner, it just bumps around a few things randomly, gets the whole house clean. Same sort of stuff. And also because I was making a really stupid app, which just gives you a random insulting greeting every time you open it. I was trying to figure out what the best process would be, and then I discovered the randInt function.
See?
And it seemed like a very good title.
And it seemed to tie in with somebody's personality.
Well, no, it's got a, you know, I also have to get you on board with the podcast idea.
Also true. Sold.
Yeah, so episode structure. So we're gonna probably bounce around a few different structures because
We have no idea what we're doing, so we'll see what sticks.
But for the time being, just because this guy decided to Google, hey, what's a good podcast topic? So decided that we'd do a proper episode where we actually talk, and the other episode, so this is going to be fortnightly, is going to be one random thing that Google suggested. I'm not going to give away the next one, but it should be difficult. Coolio. Let's go with yours. So, I've just picked one random thing you've done this month,
Okay.
which is your kayaking experience. Care to elaborate the highlights, the lowlights, and the potty story?
Poop in the woods. That's the most important learning experience. But yeah, so one of my friends decided to organising a camping trip, which was kayaking plus camping. Haven't been kayaking for a very long time, and haven't been camping since I was about 10, so good combination. Ended up, we really lucked out on everything. We got awesome weather, awesome.
Where'd you go?
Went to Wangaratta, so about 3 hours out of Melbourne. Up north, there was a river there called the Ovens River. Spent 2 days on the water and about one whole day tying kayaks to a trailer, untying them, retying them, untying them.
And when was the original plan?
I believe this was planned out a while ago, actually.
The original plan was to go somewhere totally different. These guys cancelled twice because we had a mini outbreak. So they said no, it wasn't on. I was like, cool. Then it was on, then it wasn't on, then it wasn't on again. So I was like, okay. So friends offered to like do some interesting cases. So I picked up extra lists, and these guys are like, oh, it's back on, but now it's Wangaratta, not like borderline Adelaide or wherever that was meant to be. And by that stage, I couldn't change the roster anymore.
But the advantage of being unemployed, like, okay. So after we eventually got there, first had to work out, was there enough water in the river? So drove around, checked out some different sites. We don't know what we were looking for, and there's no dead people in the water, so we figured, all right, let's go.
Seems like a simple thing. Does it, we have water? Yeah, it's there.
That's all we knew. Like, well, it's not dry. So hopped in the water, put the kayaks in, and it's a great way to travel as well because it's like having a Sherpa built in because the kayak carries everything for you.
Oh,
Put it
yeah,
all
yeah.
on. You can take as much gear as you want.
Oh yeah, you got dry pack, didn't you?
Yep. And inside the kayak as well, you can put things. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my drone. That's one thing I regret. And by my drone, I mean stealing Rafi's drone. But anyway, same. So that's the next time. But
Where is your drone, by the way?
yeah, so when I came here, like I said, I was planning to come for a few weeks. So I came with my carry-on luggage, my main luggage, my bike, most importantly my drone, all back in San Francisco. I mean to get that shipped. It's on my to-do list.
It's only been 10 months.
It's on the to-do list. Busy life.
Fair enough.
Unemployed life.
So, what about this potty story? Why is that so significant?
always wanted to go. I was looking at videos of bike camping as well, and all sorts of camping things, but I don't know, clipping the woods just doesn't seem natural. Didn't think I could do that, but I was like, no, I'm gonna have to try. Turns out, it's doable. That was the biggest learning from this trip. Therefore now, bike camping trips. Gonna start looking into that.
I feel like we've hit a new milestone on podcasting adventures. Eating dinner whilst doing potty talk.
I probably shouldn't do a tutorial on cooking in the woods. Probably shouldn't Google that either.
Alright, next time you're gonna pick up like whatever random thing you want to pick for me. But I picked unless you've got something random topic for last month.
No, if you got something ready to go, I'm curious.
I was gonna go with the random weight loss goal in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, that was cheating.
It was allowed because I did request a 24-hour extension because I was on call the day before, and I would have done that 24 hours, but the West Gate was under construction, so I thought I better not actually run around too far away. So basically, this guy was trying to be motivating, so we had a goal, which was if I didn't hit a body weight by a certain time, then I would have to switch from my lovely Windows computer to a Mac. And
way better.
yeah, and live that dongle life that
Not dongles. What dongles? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so anyway, so I had it all planned out so that I hope this is still recording.
Oh yeah. Is there a way to check that? That seems
well, it looks like there's wiggly things going on. Anyway, we'll find out. So yeah, I had it all planned out that I was almost there, but I was like about 1 kilo off. I was like, okay, I've seen what Tim Ferriss has done, which was do the whole run around, go into a steam room, etc.
Maximum diuresis.
Yeah. So I basically did 2 shots of coffee. So I couldn't do it the night before because I couldn't actually risk not being within half an hour of hospital. But in the morning, basically got up, had 2 cups of coffee, went for a run, came. Then it was a bit of an experiment. So it turns out if you go for a run for about half an hour, you lose about 200 to 300, so about 100 mils per 10 minutes of body fluid. If you go into a steam room, turns out steam rooms take forever, kind of like a kettle boiling to actually get hot. So I spent half an hour, but maybe 15 minutes of that was actually steaming. There was like negligible loss. But if you go into the sauna and you just do gentle stretching, that's where it's at. 20 minutes, that's all I could tolerate. And that's 20 minutes is like 300 to 400 mils. So it turns out I just had to do a bit of a cycle of go in, go for 20 minutes, go do something else because they got too hot, then jump back in. I had to actually go to work that afternoon, so eventually after going there, not having eaten, well, actually I did actually have some water because I was getting too thirsty, hit the target, so yes, absolutely no macro for me.
No macro.
And so he's like, you were cheating because it was 24 hours later.
Yeah.
This guy had a deadline for an actual research project, like actual has relevance to other people. And he's like, no, I'll do it 24 hours later.
Well, time's relative and stuff.
Yeah. So hence, I'm claiming that was fine.
So what's the reward now?
Well, I was going to get myself an electric scooter, but I've decided because it was partially cheating, that as long as I can maintain that weight. Oh, hello, Miss Meow. Oh, the cat's here. Are you going to meow for us? No? If I can actually maintain that on average for the next month, then I'll get myself the electric scooter.
So you're going to be in the sauna a lot. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Oh
no. Yeah, cat's trying to run away.
Well, there we go. Okay. So, how long is that? That's 20 minutes already.
Oh.
Yeah.
Seems like an appropriate podcasting length.
Yes. Well, things to look forward to in the next episode. Next proper episode, not the in-between episode. Yes. So, I was going to give an update about a certain parcel that's on the way to a certain someone. That is ridiculous. So, maybe, it'll be a month, so we should know the update for that. That'll be interesting.
See what happens with it.
Any random things to look forward to for you?
I feel like there will be random happiness. Haps. there'll be random changes to an app.
Ah, okay. All right. Cool. Well, until next time, that's it for the very first random podcast.
Yes,
Hooray!
random potato.
Yay! Now
Random potato.
Turns up.
Let's try that again.
Wait, nom 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 nom.
Testing the gain. This is about 3/4.
It picks up munching sounds.
Yeah, so that one's gonna stay. How do I actually skip? Yeah.